Billionaires are officially annoyed that you've run out of money to give them and saying the quiet part out loud. The CEOs of Kraft, McDonald's, and Whirlpool all recently made statements about consumers running out of money and pulling back on discretionary purchases. Translation? People are going into debt, dipping into their savings, and not buying groceries, fast food, or appliances like we'd like them to. All literal necessities to live. We're not talking about people cutting back on vacations to ski lodges. But I mean, what do you expect when the cost of food, housing, energy are all up 30 to 40% in just the last 5 or 6 years? And of course they're going to blame inflation. But how do you explain 3% inflation in prices that are going up by 30, 50, or in some cases 100%? And so while they act like this is some weird new phenomenon, we the consumers know this is simply the result of years of corporate price gouging and wage stagnation catching up to them. And because prices literally never come back down, even though they're finally starting to feel it a little bit, don't expect any relief. Prices probably went up again in the time it took me to make this video.
So recently, a bunch of CEOs of companies were complaining that not enough consumers, their customer base, are spending money anymore. People instead are choosing to save money and skip purchasing their items. And you know, instead of them acknowledging that maybe it's because of inflation, their corporate greed, anything, they just made it seem like people weren't spending money anymore. People don't have money to spend on anything that's not necessary anymore. They have to cut out every single thing. And unfortunately for you, your $5 hash brown at McDonald's is not necessary for the rest of us. Like, they're really confused as to why people aren't spending money. They genuinely can't understand why we're not buying the things we were buying before. We don't have it to buy. Like, discretionary funds are barely there. With inflation as high as it is and wages not keeping up at all, and then y'all charging us the same price for things that have gotten smaller and worse quality, please. But I'm telling y'all, they feel the effects too. They're noticing as well that we're not buying stuff, because no one deserves your money more during a recession than you. And although I know you're probably upset that you can't spend as much money as you used to spend, just know that you not spending money is annoying the billionaires, and that should make you happy enough.
As a country that runs by so much consumerism, lately I've been seeing a lot of people like talking and having conversation about CEOs actually complaining and noticing that Americans are not spending as much money, running out of money, and people have been ranting and complaining about how the economy is bad and a lot of people don't have money. So definitely, naturally, people are going to cut back on, you know, purchasing stuff, buying things, all those extra things that they will be spending their money on. Of course, if you ain't got it, you can't spend it. But we have noticed how everything has increased. You know, the price of things have doubled, like really double, tripled than it used to be. So now I'm expecting, okay, you guys are getting so much more profits. You're getting money that people are not earning. Like, you're charging a lot more. That is way above people's ability, you know, to survive. For a few years now, we've been hearing how like some people or some companies are bragging about their profit. Like, oh my God, they're getting this much profit because you're collecting all the money from people. And when people run out of it and now nobody got money, then nobody's going to be spending. People are not going to be spending. People cannot afford anything anymore. Even though there's like this conversation about Americans are running out of money, like people, the economy is so bad, you know, inflation, the prices are still going to keep going up. There will be no sympathy. There will be no understanding that's going to make the prices go down. But before we go right into this video and check them out and see what people are saying about this, I want to give a very, very huge, big shout out to Chon for sending me a $10 cash app. Thank you so much for always supporting this channel. I appreciate you so much. Make sure you click the like button. It helps the algorithm and I appreciate that so much. Let's get right into this video.
It's gotten so bad that the billionaires are complaining. So the CEOs of McDonald's, of Whirlpool, and of Kraft have come out and said Americans are running out of money. They are not spending like they normally would. So the articles are saying that people by the end of the month don't have money, so they're not looking to go eat at McDonald's. They're not looking to buy Kraft products. They're not looking to buy a new washing machine and all that stuff. So they're having a lot of issues as businesses maintaining their margins. The reason why this is important, though, is because the United States GDP relies on consumerism, meaning people buying stuff, you know, having a job and going to go buy stuff, by 70%. It's 70% or 68%. And that means that if consumerism goes down, our GDP drops with it heavily, because that means we're not producing anything. And it means if we're not producing anything, people are going to start losing their jobs, because that means if we're not producing stuff, that means people don't need stuff, which means we have to produce even less. And it's a really bad circle to be in. And I keep saying that no one in the government is doing anything about it. and it's continuing on. You know, we've created a system through capitalism that says that companies can charge whatever they want, do whatever they want. So there's no way truly to bring these prices down. The only way to force an economic reset is to spike our interest rates. Right now, they're like 4%. When this happened last time, it was in the 80s, they jumped them up to like 20%. And it forced a massive reset on our economy to force the prices to come down. And that's the only thing that can help. Hence why the new chair of the Federal Reserve is like, we are not lowering interest rates because that's going to be detrimental. Even though the president keeps telling him to do it, he refuses because things are that bad. And now the billionaires are calling it out. So I don't know what can be done about this, but this is what capitalism is. This is where it gets you. We're in that phase of capitalism where there kind of is no return. So hopefully y'all, it all gets better, but I don't know what happens here. Y'all have a good day.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any of these people talking about people running out of money. I am truly I've had it up to here with these millionaires and billionaires looking around going, why is everybody so broke? Where's all the money? What's going on? Why don't y'all have any money? Won't lower prices, won't raise wages, won't do anything but grab every dollar imaginable for themselves. Takes full advantage of our tax system, don't pay their fair share in taxes on their assets, hoard wealth, hide wealth, buy businesses, consolidate all of this wealth. They have all the money. They have it all. I'm so sick of these people coming back around just being like, oh man, Apple and McDonald's, CEOs of Fortune 500 companies to call in the White House being like, we just don't understand why people don't have more money to spend. And then turn around and talk about socialism is not something that works. We don't believe in it. We'll do socialism for rich people, private equity, but we won't socialism for everybody else. It does not work. We'll automate every job so that you don't have the ability to work for us and earn a living. We won't do anything. We won't do anything. And now we're going to sit here and go, why don't people have money? I don't want to hear it. I'm over it.
Good news! The number of U.S. homebuyers has reached its lowest level in recorded history. You will never be able to afford a home. But the silver lining to this is that food prices have shot up 33% in the past 7 years. The biggest jump in grocery prices in half of a century. You will never be able to afford food. But the silver lining to that previous silver lining is that nearly half of college new grads report moving back in with their parents. 23 million Americans aged 18 to 29 are living at home with their parents, and 42% of adults report needing financial help and depending on their parents for money. What happened? I thought now that trans people can't play in sports and that brown people were getting deported, everything was gonna be way more affordable. I don't understand. Literally, if your parents aren't rich, just give up. You're fucked.
They're doing the best to hide that we're in a recession because they want you out there freely spending your money up until you can't. That's why they're trying to convince you that looking at the stock markets is how you figure out what the economy is doing, but realistically, it's the consumer. Like, time and time again, I see people saying, like, oh, if it gets too costly, what we're going to do? People have already started doing. They've already stopped paying. They're trying to convince you so much. There's so many gains to make in the market right now. But realistically, it's very erratic in there. People are having big gains, but they're also having big losses. And that's the part that they're not sharing with you. Even the billionaires that are all Team Orange and endorsed him and donated to his campaign, even they're suffering, even with all their big gains. They're just not reporting that part to you. More settlements are getting reached. More class actions are being filed. And less people are spending. I told you before about how they were upset and annoyed that people weren't spending money anymore, even though they were the ones causing people not to spend money because everything's so stupidly priced and low quality. If you want to know how the economy is going, just see how people are spending. If people are spending okay, then everything's all right. But if people are spending less and less and saving more, well, good luck, Charlie.
So the CEOs are finally saying what regular people have been saying for a while now. People are broke. And when I say people, I mean the average American consumer. Because apparently Kraft, McDonald's, and Whirlpool are all looking at their sales numbers and going, now wait a damn minute. Where did everybody's money go? The CEO of Kraft basically said lower income consumers are running out of money by the end of the month and dipping into their savings. McDonald's is saying consumers are feeling this heightened anxiety, especially with gas prices and everyday expenses going up. In Whirlpool, people are putting off buying appliances because apparently that $1,500 refrigerator can wait. But what really gets me is you raise the price of groceries, you raise the price of rent, you raise the price of gas, you raise the price for everything from a chicken sandwich to a washing machine. And then everybody is shocked when the consumer says, you know what, I'm gonna keep that $40 in my account. And this is why the economy can look good on paper, while regular people feel like they are fighting for their lives financially. People aren't necessarily saying, I don't want your product. They're saying they literally can't afford it right now. And maybe the consumer is just tired of being charged like they got CEO money on a regular person's salary. And honestly, that might be the most important economic warning. Because when people stop buying the things they want, the next question is, what happens when they start struggling to afford the things they actually need? Because at that point, people just aren't cutting back on spending. They're cutting back on living. And that's when companies, policymakers, and everybody else should be bringing the cost of living way down. Actually, it should have never got this out of hand.
Hey, what's up, America? CEOs of major companies in America are now saying that the average American is running out of money. Wow, gee, no fucking shit, dumb fuck. Yeah, Americans are running out of money. Man, did you figure that out all the way from back 5 years ago? So the CEO of Heinz is now saying that Americans are running out of money due to high cost of food, gasoline, insurance, cars, housing, every fucking thing. And the CEOs are now finally saying, maybe we need to bring prices down a little bit. Oh no! But not because the CEOs are generous all of a sudden. No, they're saying that Americans are no longer buying name brand products, or they're simply not buying products at all. And so to save their price gouging companies, they need to bring prices down a little bit. So I'm not sure what pisses me off more, the fact that you were price gouging, knew we were all suffering, but did it anyway? Or that the only reason you're bringing prices down is because Americans don't have shit and they're not buying your products, so you're doing it for only selfish reasons. So I'm gonna tell most people here in America, stop buying most name brand products. Make these companies go out of business. Punish them for price gouging. Starbucks CEO says $9 cups of coffee are good because you enjoy the experience. Put Starbucks out of business. Stop buying it. Go get you a $1 cup of coffee at a gas station. Fuck Starbucks. Fast food places jacking up prices. Stop going there. Stop purchasing name brand products. Stop it. They will only start to lower prices again when the dominoes start to fall and they see their empires about to be impacted. Nothing else will make that determination for them. It's the same with new vehicles. They want to charge you subscription services for everything. Stop buying them. Put them out of business. Fuck them. I don't give a shit if Ford goes out of business and is replaced by a Chinese company at this point. You've earned it, motherfucker. Oh, that's not patriotic. And price gouging your entire citizenry into poverty is? Fuck you. Get ratioed, motherfucker. So to CEOs in America, find lower prices or find new jobs. I want to see companies going out of business left and right that were price gouging. I want to see them crumble to the ground and piss on the ashes.
CEOs have finally taken notice of the fact that most Americans are broke. And I mean, that's what happens when you live in a country where the upper class takes advantage of the working class and milks them for every freaking cent they have. And the most annoying thing about it is they only realize that the people in this country are going broke because they are not, raking in the same amount of profits as they once were. It's like a corrupt king who is used to a certain amount of food every night. Like he's used to a feast every night. And then one night he sits down and he notices that feast It's not that much of a feast anymore. It's basically just what a normal meal would be. Like that's what's going on with them now. They're used to their gluttonous intakes, and they're just used to raking in so much money, and that money is becoming stagnant because there is no more money. They've taken it all. And the people here are not living paycheck to paycheck. They are literally broke. Like by the time they get one paycheck, it's gone, completely gone. It's not stretching to the next paycheck anymore. Like that's below living paycheck to paycheck. And I don't know, are they actually going to do anything now that they realize people are running out of money? I doubt it because they're too greedy, they're too corrupt. I don't know, but the country is going to fall at this rate, and it's kind of hilarious because they're doing it to themselves. I'm just saying.
While the cost of living continues to go up and people struggle to live their day-to-day lives, Target just got a $1 billion refund check from the government because of tariffs. Remember last year when Trump said that tariffs actually are good for the economy. It'll make us strong and powerful. And then all of the bills were fronted by the consumer instead of the businesses. Yeah, now the businesses are getting double their profits because they charged us more, and now they get a refund check because they lost money on those tariffs. Aside from Target doubling their net income with this refund check, other large companies like Amazon, FedEx, Nike, Apple, and others have seen their own refund checks ranging from $600 million up to $2 billion. And you would think that a company like Apple, who already has a net income, which means after all expenses, over $100 billion, seeing that kind of money, would want to give back to the consumers instead of, I don't know, raising prices due to the chip shortage. It should be abundantly clear by now to anyone with the capacity to think that the public is the one who deals with the consequences of tariffs. We pay for it, not the businesses. And now to see them getting hundreds of millions to billions of dollars in refund checks as they've already made record-breaking profits is simply a spit in the face to everyone who is actively struggling to survive right now.
Warning, warning, warning. CEOs are complaining that Americans are running out of money. Yes, we're not spending money, and so they're complaining. These are signs that the economy is in trouble. If you did not know, the economy is made up by 80% of you and I spending our money. You and I not spending our money is going to mean very big trouble for the US economy. These are all warning signs that the economy is collapsing every single day. I want to remind you this is all 100% self-inflicted.
This is when they want to look around and be like, they're like, consumers are not spending as much. You guys are noticing right now when a lot of people, ordinary people I've been making this type of content for a while now, okay? Like for a long time now, a lot of people have been ranting, complaining about how broke we are and how much financial struggles we're in because of the cost of living, and also because things just keep rising. Like the inflation is really bad, and at the same time, this is the greed of this corporation. A lot of complaints about so many things, bills, every single thing that people have to deal with every month, and how much the biggest part is how the wages are not keeping up with all this. And now the CEOs, you guys are noticing that people are not spending as much. Yeah, because you're not paying enough. They could have all these thoughts, they could talk about it, they could say whatever. By the end of the day, I'm telling you that they would never, like the complaints, why don't you guys have enough? Like, you guys need to spend more. Like, what are you doing? But they're never gonna be like, oh, we're gonna, we need to make sure that the wages actually keep up, keep up with what's going on, keep up with our greed. Let the wages keep up with the cost of living so people be able to live and function normally. Because I don't get it, like the life we're living where you're working, doing a lot, where sometimes even earning a lot, a huge amount of money on paper does not even make much difference in your life. It doesn't really change anything for you. They are still not gonna have sympathy. I think all they're gonna care about is that, hey, I think you all need to do more. You need to spend more because we need that money, okay? Just keep spending more. Find a way, make it work, okay? Because I feel like they just like literally want to push people to the extent they want to see how far they can push people, how far, because people are gonna always keep trying. I feel like we're always gonna keep trying to adapt to everything, like how difficult things are. We're gonna keep trying to adapt. I feel like the amount of things that actually takes or consumes our money is just increasing day by day. Every single thing is a subscription. A lot of things, the bills are high. By the end of the month, this is gonna grab insurance, this people's utility bills, their rents, mortgages, so many things like just takes away your money. Like it makes you actually become empty and you have nothing. So it's like, yeah, people don't have money. Like people, I feel like when you're saying it, for some people who are like okay, maybe financially okay, they might take it as, oh, people just like complaining, like, oh, you all are just sad, you are just some doom and gloom type of people, you're just saying it. But it's like this is something that's happening so much, and sometimes, you know, until it affects somebody, people don't really notice. Like if something doesn't affect them, they don't give a damn, they don't have no sympathy, they don't understand. They are not going to pay attention until it actually affects their life. That's when they'll be like, oh, this is not good. When the price of things start going from, you know, something that you could afford $10 and it goes to $20, 30, 40, 50, 60, it gets to a point where you start asking questions. You'll be wondering, do I really need this thing? Like that's, I feel like a lot of us are at that point where it's like most of the things that we used to be able to just buy, like when things are affordable, I think people are less likely to kind of like think about it or think too deep about if they should get it. They'll be like, oh, that's affordable, they'll buy it, they'll spend money. But when it's becoming expensive, yes, you're gonna have people actually thinking deeply about that. But that product, do I really need to use this? Is this something that I can live without? Have I been living without it? Can I live without it? Is it necessary? Is it a do or die situation? We've made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. Please don't forget to click the like button. Remember, I said it helps with the algorithm and I appreciate that so much. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you're watching me for the very first time. Hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video, and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to see what you think about this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.